Hello, Deernicorn Club. This is Andy Licht. I'm here at Big Bad Con with Jason Morningstar. And in case you're wondering, hi Jason, in case you're wondering why we're wearing masks, it's because Big Bad Con cares about safety and requires them here, and we are happy to wear them. First and foremost, Jason, for people who don't know you or your work, who are you? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, Andy. Thanks for having me. I'm Jason Morningstar. I'm the creative director at Bully Pulpit Games. We are an analog game company. We make tabletop role-playing games and live-action role-playing games, and we've been around since 2005.
Awesome. And how many games does Bully Pulpit have at this point?
I don't know how big our collection is, but we've made a number of games. We have a lot of games.
Okay, a lot. Well, and you yourself, even outside of Bully Pulpit, have made quite a few.
Yeah.
More than any could hope to claim over the course of your career. Over 100 games.
Definitely over 100, yeah.
Definitely over 100. My first question is, what advice would you share with new designers who are just starting out in game design?
That's a great question, and I get it a lot. And my first recommendation is to play everything. Be a voracious game player. Learn by doing, play every opportunity you have. Play with children, play with your elders, play every kind of game in the category that you're interested in, because that's going to give you a broad vocabulary around the topic. The other advice that I often give, that I think is good advice, is to embrace mutualism. Help other people, find ways to be useful without any expectation of reciprocity. Just get involved in a community of practice that's full of people that you love and help them, because down the road, they'll help you back. That's how community works, and you're going to need help, and you're going to need the wisdom of your peers, and the way that you earn that is by helping them. So find a community that resonates with you and get involved. Just be a good community member, help other people, and that will take you far.
I love that, Jason. Well, especially considering we're here in community right now.
Yeah, we are.
At Big Bad Con. Yeah, what an awesome place to meet people and build that. And I think that's great advice. Mutualism. I love it. So out of all of these games you've published then, is there any single game that you keep coming back to? Like if you had to pull a game out to play right now, which would it be?
Oh, I love all my games. I never get tired of playing my own games. So all of them are great, and I'm happy.
Nor should you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So I'm happy to sit down and play. There's some of them I think I would change if I were to redo them now with what I've learned over the course of my career, I guess. But I still love them. I'm happy to throw down and play them when I can. But I think if you ask me to play anything, it's going to be whatever I'm working on now, because I love to play test and to learn from other people about how to improve what I'm working on. So that's definitely what I would pick.
That definitely explains how you got so many games in your catalog to begin with. If you're always working on something new and playing something new, of course. Right. Yeah, so moving away from games for a quick moment and talking more generally about design and about learning.
Okay.
You've consulted with some pretty impressive names outside of the gaming world. Some companies, some corporations, and helped them to learn through game design and to design experiences for them. So what do you think new players or people that are totally unfamiliar with tabletop games should learn from them or take away from them?
So I often talk about playful experiences. So if I'm dealing with a corporate client or an academic client, I'm really not talking about games. I'm talking about playful experiences, which is a little bit different, and it is easier for that to mesh with whatever their agenda or pedagogy is, because it might not be games. It might not be a specific rules set that you're going to follow to achieve a certain outcome, like you would in games for fun, right? But you can make experiences that are playful, and that's much more relevant in a much broader context. So what can you learn from that? I think a part of it is to not be so hidebound about what a game is. I always laugh when people are like, that's not a game. Which is an accusation that's leveled at me occasionally.
No!
Like, that's often it's that's not a role-playing game, and occasionally it's that's not a game, which is I just love that. It warms my heart when someone comes at me and accuses me of not making games. So, but I think that you can just sort of broaden your horizons a little bit and be more accepting of edge cases and weirdness, because it's a rich world to explore, right? And so be open and embrace the idea that things can be games that maybe make you uncomfortable or that are confusing to you or that maybe don't fit a definition that you've had.
I love that so much. Yeah, at Deernicorn, we are so about embracing the weirdness and also embracing the things that are on the edge of role-playing games.
That's why I love you.
Story games. We love you, Jason. We're glad to work with you always. And I'm curious. You mentioned playful experiences. What is the what are people getting from the playful experiences? Typically, what are they coming away with? Is it joy? Is it like a sense of connectedness? Why is that something that you focus on?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily interested in making somebody have fun. I don't think that I can do that, and it's not really my job. What I can do is provide the tools for you to synthesize the experience in a way that's relevant to you, and in a similar way that if you try really hard to make a game funny, it's not going to be a funny game. What you need to do is provide the scaffolding to let the people be funny, and that's a very different thing. And you can see games that are wacky, and they're trying really hard to be full of jokes. They're not going to land the same way that a game that gives you a unique situation that is inherently absurd and lets you revel in that absurdity. There's two different things there, two different approaches to the same problem, maybe, one of which I feel is more successful.
I love that way of thinking about games as well, which is that you're really setting the players up. It's not as much about the game at all, but the people who are playing it as it is. My final question for you is, where have you been finding inspiration recently? What are you excited about in the TTRPG space, among games that you've played? Or even just what are you excited about broadly of films, life experiences, anything else?
Yeah, so I read a lot. I'm really interested in history. I'm a curious person. This is another thing that I think is really relevant to the young designer. Like if you're just getting started in this, be curious about everything. Find value in everyone. Everybody has an amazing story to tell, and it's easy to put up barriers and dismiss people when if you just listen. Like, there is no one in your life who's not absolutely worthy of the moment of your time to find out what they've experienced. Like, everybody's interesting.
Right.
And so, like, be curious, ask questions, like, learn about new things. If you meet a guy who's a beekeeper, that guy, he knows stuff, and it's fascinating.
Right.
You know, you meet a small engine mechanic. Recently I met a small engine mechanic, and I was like, tell me about what you do. I don't know anything about fixing lawnmower engines, but like you do, and that's interesting. And some of my best work, I think, comes out of just listening and being curious. So that's
I love that so much. Yeah, I mean, if you really open yourself up to other people and their experiences, your well of experience yourself and also inspiration just becomes so much broader. It expands new horizons for you, for sure.
And I think that's true with literature, and it's true with film. Like, just push your horizons, you know, watch and consume media that makes you uncomfortable or confuses you or that you don't believe is for you, right? And then just see where that takes you.
Be curious, folks.
Yeah.
Be curious. Okay, so Jason, you've brought a game with you today.
Oh, I did.
A new game. Would you like to tell us about it? What is it called, and what's going on with it?
Yeah, let me show you actually. So one of the games that we play tested last year at Big Bad Con, and we're back doing it again. Although it's almost done, we're very close to finishing. It's called Jena's Wonder Tales, and this is a tabletop role-playing game that's very light, and it's designed to let you emulate stories, folk stories and fairy tales pulled out of Slavic and Baltic folklore. So, and the way it works is that it's a 4-player game. There are 4 characters, and each character has specific beats that are going to happen within the tale. And those are much like moves in Apocalypse World, if you're familiar with that. If you're a PBTA fan, these will instantly look like custom moves for each character, and that's intentional. Because that's a great technology, and I love it. So if you're playing Antonia, the Wicked Countess, in the Carp Princess, which is the story we have set up here, one of the things that's going to happen is you're going to confess your love to Sir Boyan. So during the game, we know right off the bat that she's going to tell Sir Boyan at some point that she loves him.
We know for a fact.
It's going to happen. It has to. In fact, the game will not end until she does it.
And give me one moment here, folks. I'm going to adjust the camera so we can get a close-up on these cards because the art's incredible. The cards look great.
The art is by Momentos, and we love it so much. Do you want me to put these closer together?
Sure.
Will that be helpful?
Yeah.
All right. Look at Olga, people. Look at her.
Also set up so you can use your phone too as a...
Oh, sure.
Olga is the Carp Princess, and she has lost her skin. It's been stolen by the evil Countess. Will she get it back? I don't know. I don't know if she will. That's up to you. But these individual tales take maybe 40 minutes to play. They're always a little bit different, but they follow a very sort of mythic progression that will feel very familiar to you, but also very alien unless you're really familiar with Eastern European folklore, which is quite different from Grimm's fairy tales. It's a little darker, it's a little meaner, and a little weirder, which all really appeals to me.
That's my favorite part of any folklore is the weird, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And these get weird fast.
So this is inspired by folklore and fairy tales, but we're going to be telling an original story every time.
Yep, it'll always turn out a little bit different.
Understood. And it seems like you have 5 characters with you here.
Oh, well, we have four people in the tale, and then we have wicked old Jena, who is the sort of the crypt keeper of this whole thing.
I love this.
So Jena sets it up, and then she sort of gives you the orientation to the story you're about to hear in the meanest possible way.
Understood. Is Jena like a facilitator then, or?
She has there's a card that you read that gives you the overview of what this tale is about.
Understood.
She's not actually the character in the story.
But Jena is our storyteller then, maybe.
Yes.
Helping to guide us along.
This is the wonder tale that Jena is helping us tell, yes.
Love it. Hence the name of the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is a game for 4 players always?
It works for 4 best. You can play with less or more, but 4 is ideal because every tale has 4 principal characters in it.
Understood. And you said this game was focused on Slavic
and Baltic, yeah.
Slavic and Baltic.
I pulled from Polish, Czech, Hungarian, and Russian primarily, and Ukrainian sources.
Interesting. Was there an experience or piece of media that made you hone in on that specific kind of folklore and say, I want to do something related to that?
I'm a kind of a Slavophile. I've done a lot of work in that part of the world, so I'm interested in that anyway, and that's kind of where this came from. And the Baltic angle came from a particular book that I read and loved that I'd recommend called The Man Who Spoke Snakish.
The Man Who Spoke Snakish.
Yep, that's what it's called.
No way.
It's by Anders Krulak. It's a great book. It's a beautiful book.
Okay, wonderful. And when will this game be available for people? It looks like it's already quite finished. The cards look beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, we're getting there. This will all be metallic foil. It's going to be lovely. But next year, 2025.
2025.
You will be able to get your hands on Jenya's Wonder Tales.
Love it. And it's Jenya.
Jenya, yeah.
Jenya's Wonder Tales. Okay, 2025.
And I hope it will be in the Deernicorn store.
I'm certain it will be, Jason. I'm certain it will be. All right, well, I'm going to let you go here. Do you have any closing thoughts or reflections?
No, this has been a pleasure, Andy. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Of course. And then where can people find you, Jason, if they want to find you online?
Oh, if they want to find me online.
Or if you want to be found at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a swamp monster. I don't know that I want to be found, but
sure.
You can find me at bullypulpitgames.com. That's a reliable place to find me. We also have an itch store with digital products in it. And, of course, Heart of the Deernicorn.
Love it. Okay, check out their itch store, Bully Pulpit, online, and Heart of the Deernicorn of 2. Check out our distro, and you can find many of Jason's games there. So thank you for your time, Jason, and I hope you have a great rest of your con.
Thanks. See ya.